Well, if that doesn't make you interested to know a little bit more about Undecembered, which is a new hack and slash that just dropped, I've got a lot more to show you guys. Let's hop into it and talk about a lot of what this game does and doesn't do. The game definitely lives up to the hack and slash action RPG story and gives you a lot of what you've seen in a lot of other games in the same genre. You know, it reminds me of Path of Exile in a lot of little ways, but it does feel a little Diablo-esque at the same time. Mob after mob after mob run up against you. You're able to use a plethora of abilities that you can stack in a lot of different ways to make some cool effects go down. That's where I feel like, you know, when you think about Path of Exile and the way you can link your abilities and get your buffs on those abilities, it's a lot with that. Now, they say it's an infinite build based on this reason right here. You'll get tutorials, but the way this game's combat system works and the skills that you get are based on a grid. You'll take the skills that you want, you'll slot them into the grid, and then you'll slot in different items that will impact how that skill operates or the damage that that skill does. This gets a little confusing and a little wonky, but there is a way to know what you're doing. It'll kind of highlight if it's able to impact another one or not, and you'll kind of be able to attach them. Where it gets really in-depth is you are able to re-roll the slots on the skills. So if you want a skill with red, red, green on it, you can re-roll those. That comes later in the game, but you have the ability to do that, and that's where they get this infinite skill tree idea building from. If you're not lucky, you'll find yourself re-rolling these skills in order to get the right color scheme so you can get the right abilities attached to them in order for them to do the things that you want them to do. This is the part when you'll see the most grind within the game. And because of this, you get so much build variety. Of course, then on top of that, you have your Zodiac, which is just your basic skill points for boosting up your character so you can equip certain pieces of items and get said bonuses from that. Very basic. Of course, along the way, you'll meet various vendors that are able to sell you the skills or upgrade your items to make them more potent or just give you the effects that you're looking for. Gold isn't really super hard to come by in the game, so you can kind of spend as much as you want. However, the vendors, like most of the time, aren't always going to sell the items that you're looking for. So maybe you know that there's an item out there, the vendor may not get it, you'll have to do a side quest or just get lucky and see it drop. On top of that, each vendor not only will sell you the items that they're able to enhance, but they were able to enhance those items, meaning you can use items such as Ores of Chaos and such. It just reminds me of Path of Exile so much on this in order to randomly roll the quality of an item and then randomly roll the prefixes and affixes of that item. There are so many different items within the game that let you re-roll the item that's another piece of the puzzle that allows you to refine that build to exactly what you want it to be. Tedious, yes, but still yet something that you can spend a lot of time doing to make that ultimate build operate the way you want it to. And just like Path of Exile, this is probably one of my favorite things about the game thus far. And just in case you were wondering, you have a limited amount of stash that you can purchase from the store if you want to. And we'll talk about the store a little bit later in the video because it is kind of interesting in my opinion. But no more of that. Let's kind of move on to the fun stuff. Your first 5 or 10 minutes in the game allows you to kind of play test a lot of different skills and a lot of different weapons and see how they interact and what skills go along with them for some great ideas for some builds. It was a lot of fun to test this part out, and honestly this is the part that kind of gets you hooked the most. Because you're able to get a really good glimpse of what the capabilities of the end game will be for your character at level 100 and having, I guess, your runes maxed out in the perfect build, it's kind of cool to just smash through your foes using these new skills. I will say though, it is kind of gimmicky that they do this because it's kind of like one of those things where they're like, give them the best, that way they know what they're capable of. Maybe it'll hook them into getting to that level, even though it's a long grind and they'll have to do a lot of work and may never actually ever see this, that, and the other. It's still kind of cool that they kind of play that out for you and let you see. Even though I'm not the biggest fan, it was still fun. I would like to add that the voice acting in the game isn't terrible to the point that you just don't want to listen to it, but it is better than we've seen in most. I always appreciate a game that actually has good voice acting or voice acting in general so that you can actually engage in a different way. I'm more of an auditory person. Don't make me read, please. The guy looks funny, but hey, he's got stuff to say. These aren't the cleanest cutscenes that you'll probably ever see in this type of game or franchise, but you know, they weren't just, you know, flat out terrible. I mean, you know, you kind of expect something better from newer games. They also added the ability for you to craft up stuff by brewing, so you can heighten your HP potions, your mana potions, all the other potions can be crafted directly in there if you have the items to do so. It is just kind of cool that you can do that. You can up the quality of your potions yourself, just by finding items or purchasing from a regular everyday merchant. Again, we'll talk about the amount of mobs and the different skills that you really get to use. I mean, there's just a lot to the game. Like I say, it's not groundbreaking. It feels like I'm playing Path of Exile in a lot of ways. But overall, it's still very, very fun to play. If you're looking for something new, this definitely is something to grab, check out. I mean, it's free on Steam. I mean, go get it. Hey, look, I'm going to be flat out honest with you. There was a lot that this game has that I honestly don't think you guys want to watch a 30-minute video on me covering. Even though it's probably worth the 30-minute video, I could probably break those down into just exactly what you're looking for in the long run. Undecembered, weird name still yet, on Steam, came out October 11th, 2022, worth a play, all right? Free to play, go grab it, check it out. I would rate this game in a lot of different ways. I mean, as far as just the playability, it's easy to play. I mean, there's nothing crazy difficult about the game. The story is a little I mean, it's there. It's not really developed. I don't know where I want it to go, to be honest with you, but at the same time, the story is pulling you somewhere. You're seeing things happen. You're going from town to town. There's nothing brand new about this game other than it's a new game that you can try and play. And you may well really enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot out there to choose from as far as Path of Exile. I mean, Diablo 4 is coming out soon. Let's be honest, guys. We need something to tide us over. And this might just be it to tide us over for Diablo 4. The game is clean. I haven't had any issues. Matter of fact, there was 2 patches that came out while I was playing the game, and I was able to immediately restart. So the patch implementation is quick and easy as well. So, listen, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you want to see some of the other reviews that I've done, check those out too. And as always, guys, happy gaming.